What's going on, everybody? Coach Stefan here. I'm here with Paul. He's been in our program a few months. Paul, do you mind introducing yourself? Just to let everybody know your age, how long you've been in your career, just so they have some context and background.
Sure. My name is Paul Berger. I'm 55 years old, and I started the program because I've been in law enforcement for 35 years. And through injuries and some other issues throughout the years, I decided it was time to get back in shape again. And so I got into your program.
Yeah, yeah. And you've been in 3 months, and if you're watching this, yes, the Wi-Fi is like a little laggy, but uh, bear with us. Yeah, and in 3 months, you've made a lot of progress, and we're going to dive into that in a second, but let's go through some things in the first place. Number one, this was the first online coach you ever worked with, right? Our online program, correct?
First online program, yes.
Yeah. And it is for about like 95% of our clients, especially the law enforcement and fire, in their 40s and 50s. Like it's new, right? Like you probably grew up knowing about like in-person training. So I know there's some skepticism, which is good in a way because I want people to think like critically, like, oh, is this going to work for me? What were your thoughts before you joined the program as far as like maybe some skepticisms, like, will this work for me? How are they going to help me online?
Yeah, there was a lot of skepticism from me to begin this program, and I've never used a trainer before, and I didn't know how it was going to work, and this has far exceeded anything that I would have expected on having the trainer. It's given me more discipline. It gives me a program. It gives me nutritional baseline. It's just been a great program for that aspect of it. But the skepticism was definitely pretty strong at first. In fact, I think we had that conversation.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And I think for a lot of people, it is totally fair. Like, I know I work with a bunch of cops that, they want to do their digging and they're critical, and that's good. And so I try to set up a super open, transparent business so you guys can get on reviews like this and read through our Google reviews and all that. Um, but I think that's important for us to say because, the biggest kind of like fear that holds people back is, well, I've never done online and like, can you guys get people results? Well, the proof's in the pudding. You're 3 months in. You said you're down almost 20 pounds. And before we started recording this, you were telling me that your, like your, I think you said your battle belt at a shooting range is keeps going down. Your belt is looser. Like, walk me through some of the physical results you've seen 90 days in.
Well, first off, I've never seen my abs, and now I can see my abs. They're starting to come in. Secondly, I've all my clothes are now very, very loose. The exactly what you said. I went to the range a couple of weeks ago, put on my belt for shooting at the range, and it was so loose that I had problems keeping it on throughout it. So I'm going to have to cut it down to make it fit. My belt right now that this morning I started about 221 and I'm down to 202 right now. Um, my belt this morning, I can wrap it about halfway around and fit the belt loop on my side of my pants now. So I'm going to have to start looking at some clothing, buying before too long also. So no, the program's been great. The program not only is a fitness program, but Mike has worked with me on rehabilitating and my injuries that I've gained throughout the years. And it's just been, I don't know, it's been a wonderful experience.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And that's important to say because anybody listening, like, we're all beat up at some capacity. The longer you've been in the career, probably the most more beat up you are. And we know that. And so if we sit there and we tell Paul, hey, here's your program, but we have a scope of practice. We're not physical therapists, right? Like, but at the same time, we do have really, really high level coaches. Mike is a genius when it comes to programming and knowing the human body. I've had him program me to like rehab some injuries and things on myself too, because that's going to be your barrier. Right? I'm sure he's told you, right? Like that weak link, you're only going to be able to get so strong or do so much. Like I had a shoulder thing, I had a knee thing, and it needs to be part of my program, right? It's not this whole like, hey, you're going to spend an extra 3 hours a week rehabbing yourself. Like we know that time probably is not going to permit that. It's like, hey, do these things. I'm sure he's having you do a lot of like end range strengthening and different types of things in your program to rehab it at the same time. So not only can you lose the weight, build the muscle and strength performance, but honestly, like not have that weak link, right? Because that's going to be the thing that's holding you back. Um, Now losing 20 pounds in 3 months at 55 years old, that's epic. That's awesome. And congrats to you. Hats off for you for obviously putting in the work with your training and nutrition. What performance increases have you seen? Because most clients come to us to burn fat, build muscle, increase their performance at the same time. Have you seen any performance increases?
Oh, yeah. And so he started me doing some running again, which I haven't been running for years, and my cardio is like off the charts compared to what it was when I first started. I can do the run exercises and I don't get out of breath at all. It's some knee pain and stuff like that that creates some of my angst, but overall the I'm getting stronger. I'm getting more functionally fit, which was one of my things.
Yep.
And I haven't been doing jujitsu for a little bit, but that actually was increasing because my cardio was increasing and my strength was increasing and all these other things that come along with the program, and my nutrition has actually benefited me a ton. Sleep's always been an issue for me, and Mike has been great with working, or trying to do things to help me get better sleep. And actually, over the last 2 weeks, I'm just now starting to, I think, sleep a little better than I have been in the past too. Mine's my mind. My mind doesn't
Yeah.
shut off, but physically fit wise, I'm definitely improving in all categories.
That's awesome. And that's important to talk about too, because what we try to do is we try to take a super 360 approach. Like the big question I get is, well, Coach Stefan, what do you guys do? And I'm like, well, it's a better question what we don't do. Because we like anything that you can think of with your health that you want help on, that you want to nerd out with your coach on, we'll do. When I had one-on-one clients, I looked at sleep, stress, water intake, like just you as a whole, right? Because if you're training hard, but let's just say you're sleeping, law enforcement and first responders, sleep's usually not great, right? Like all over the place. So if that is your barrier, right? If we're sleeping like crap and our cortisol levels up and like, all these things, that hurts too. No, we're not sleep experts, but we're going to look at your sleep hygiene. What are you doing before bed? What does this look like? What does your routine look like? And strategize with you so you can sleep better. Because if you sleep better, then you're more recovered, helps your metabolism, you train harder, you lose weight easier, right? So like a lot of it does start with your sleep. And so I think that's important for people to know that we don't just look at just one thing or just two things. We want to look at like Paul as a whole because everything's combined, right? Um, I guess my next kind of question would be, how has just like I know you said the program's awesome, which is great, but how has the customization and communication been with your coach? Because, another concern for this community is like, I have a busy schedule. I'm all over the place. I'm crazy. I'm afraid that my coach won't be able to like work around me and adapt with me. Like, how's that been?
Oh, Coach Mike's been awesome. He's very responsive. I mean, just like little things, working, recommendations for vitamins and stuff like that to be taking. You know, he, you obviously you go in and I take pictures of our gym, and he sets the program around what we have in our gym, which is quite a bit for a smaller agency, and he customizes it and continually customizes it throughout the program to benefit you. I mean, I that was the one thing, the nutrition. We talk about nutrition. We
Yep.
talk about the fitness aspect of it. We talk about the rehab part. I send him a text. I'm not very good at just reaching out, but I'll send a text saying, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And he's responsive, within an hour or so most of the time. And it's been really easy to do the program because of that, ability to communicate with your coach. And the responsiveness has been, I mean, that's probably one of the better things that I found out real quick that this program has and benefits me because I'm able to make those adjustments that he gives me, and we work through if there's another adjustment that comes up. The ability to talk to your coach is amazing in this program. So I've been I've been very, very pleased how everything's gone. It's not just the fitness, it's not just the rehab. It's, we do everything. We're talking about the nutrition, we're talking about the sleep, we're changing the nutrition, you know, macros and stuff. And that I still have some issues with because I don't know how to really gauge my macros, until after I eat, I guess is what it is. But those, I mean, it's coming along really, really well. This is a great program for all that aspect.
Yeah. And everybody's in a different nutritional standpoint. And like obviously you and Mike have worked on a certain strategy that's maybe not just the macro tracking because people are different, right? Like
Yep.
scientifically, it is a great method because it's numbers and numbers are data and it's pretty clear cut and dry. But even for our clients that maybe have a little more trouble because some people pick it up, some people love it, some people hate it, we still get people results. I mean, 20 pounds down and good 20 pounds, not I dropped a bunch of water weight and I starved myself and I'm, weak and I did all this fasting. Like, and then with that, you're like, oh, my performance decreased because that's not good for this community, right? So, we don't
No.
want to just look at the number on the scale and be like, you're down 20 pounds. You're like, yeah, but I feel terrible. Like I'm weak. I'm not training hard. And nothing against other online coaches, but, I think a lot of them don't have clients that actually have to perform. They sit at a desk or like it's not a concern of theirs. But for our clients, especially the ones like out in the field, yeah, you want to look good, but at the same time, looking better, your performance should at least maintain, but ideally get better. And the number one downfall for this community, because I have hundreds of calls every month with cops, is my cardio sucks. They're in the gym, they're training, but the cardio is definitely the thing that they're a little more worried about. They're like, I'm a big, strong guy, but if I roll on the ground with somebody and a minute later my gas tank's gone, that's not good. I'm like, yeah, it's a dangerous situation. So I'm glad to hear that all your performance is increasing, specifically the cardio. And for your age, having a healthy heart and as you get older and doing cardiovascular stuff is super important. Yeah, it sounds like the program's been pretty influential to you. And I'm really glad to hear about the communication. We know that as an online coach, that's our superpower, right? And that is the benefit of doing online versus in person is like you show up, you work out, you leave in person. That's it. You're like, see you next time. That's it. You're on your own. So all the questions you have, like, what do I eat and for my sleep, like you don't get any of that. And so, there's a lot of gaps with in-person training. I mean, I won't go too far into it, but it doesn't work very well for this community because scheduling and they're not doing nutrition and there's just holes. And what we try to do is fill it all. But just like any service, when you're working with a person, just good customer service. Just like if you go out to eat, your waiter comes and checks on you one time in an hour, you're like, this sucked. Right. But if he's like, not annoying, but checking up on you throughout the dinner, you're like, hey, this was a great experience. Like they were really on top of it. We know that. And it's important. And, this is a high level program. We know you guys are investing a lot in your health. And so we need to be there delivering. Right. And it sounds like we've done that. So good job, Coach Mike. Good job, Pursuit. Um, I guess my last question for you would be, there's a lot of clients in our program and you're kind of part of the community. I know maybe you're not like super active on there, but it's not just you, right? Like, have you seen other people's results and winning in the community? Can you kind of speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I do review the community stuff every once in a while, and it's pretty amazing to see how many people are getting the wins that they're getting on the program. That that is impressive to me. That's motivating to me. I the digital world and stuff. I don't get onto it as much as I probably should be doing. I try to every once in a while, but what I do get on there, you're just seeing wins and you're seeing the motivation and you're seeing the excitement from people, and that's really cool to watch because you know we don't see that very often in this job where the people are actually succeeding at all these things. So it's really nice to be able to watch that, and it's really motivating to stay in the program and keep doing what you're doing. This program is all about what you put into it. I mean, you can come into this program and do very little and probably get some results too, but that's what's kind of motivating to watch is the other people and what they're doing and winning, and it just keeps you very excited to continue on.
Yeah. And usually when I do like the interviews, how we had like a Zoom call before you came in and stuff. I usually share our live community to be like, look, it's not just one person. It's not just Paul, right? Like you're
Yep.
crushing it, but it's a lot of people, and that's important. Like, oh, this company's like good. Like it's other people are getting results too. They know what they're doing. That backs it up. So that's important for us, right? And for you to be bought in. And number two, it is motivating, right? Because even when I was in the military, generally, it's kind of a little bit the same. It's like there's like one fit guy or a couple fit guys, and everybody goes to them, but nobody really like talks about their working out. You don't see the wins. You're just like, oh, that guy's in shape or that guy's out of shape. But there's not really that conversation usually, which is nice being part of this group because, yeah, you see somebody in there that is just as busy or twice as busy as you, and they're losing weight and they're hitting it, and it puts pressure on you, and you hit the nail on the head. I will never blow smoke and be like, oh, if you come in and just instant results, like it's not unicorn, butterflies, rainbows, right? Like it is hard work. You've been putting it in, but I love working with this community because you guys are not afraid of hard work and you know what to do. You need the structure, you need the guidance, maybe some accountability. But if it's all set out for you, you'll do well because that's how you operate, right? It's like mostly cops, firefighter, military. We're pretty structured, we're regimented, like we can go execute. But yeah, I mean, are there people that come in and put in a low effort and yield low results? 1,000%. Like it's what you put in. But most of our community is like you, where they come in, they put in the work, they listen to their coach, they ask questions, they engage, and then they go execute. So it's a testament to you too. Uh, I guess my very last question would be, there's a lot of guys that I have conversations with that are, and they're in our program now, but in the future, 40 to like late 50s, law enforcement and fire. What would you say to somebody that's on the fence? Because I know the things are going to be like, I'm not super techie. I'm not really on like Facebook, like, or Instagram. I don't know about the whole online thing. Like if somebody was on the fence, kind of in the position where you were 3 months ago, what would you say to that person?
You know, like you said, I was on the fence 3 months ago, and this, if I can do this, excuse me, anybody can do this. This program is designed to allow you to win, and the discipline that it gives you, the nutritional aspects that it gives you, the rehabilitation aspects that it gives you, you, I, you can't put a dollar amount on it. Is what I basically is what I can say. Um, I have been very impressed with everything that's gone on in this program, and I was skeptical to begin with, and you know, especially now that I'm mid 50s, I knew that I needed to do something because I didn't. I have the discipline, I have the other stuff that goes along with it, but I didn't have a program or a roadmap for me to get to, and this gives me that roadmap, and that roadmap has been so beneficial and is what is allowing me to accomplish the goals and everything that I have. In fact, I'm accomplishing goals I didn't even have to begin with. Like I
That's
said,
awesome.
I didn't know I had abs. Now I have abs, and stuff like that. And certain parts of, you know, like my posture and stuff like that. I didn't realize my posture was as bad as it was until I started having to take those photographs. You know, and we're working on that, and my posture is like 100% better than it was, before I started the program. So it's not just a single aspect of the program that is beneficial, it's the whole program that's beneficial. And if somebody's on the fence, there was nobody on the fence, harder than I was. And it's been the best thing I've done probably in many, many, many years.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, and thank you for that. And honestly, it's obviously you have the roadmap, but it's you. It's you putting in the work. But it is important to touch on that briefly because for people that are in their 40s or 50s, most of them have been in their career for 15, 20, 25, you forever, right? Like super long career.
Yep.
Um, and a lot of them have never worked with a trainer. Like they're like, I've kind of done my own thing. I've stayed relatively fit for their career. Like this is, I mean, super similar situation. This is my first time. And then I think the one kind of like thing that people maybe are a little bit standoffish is like, I don't need somebody to hold my hand. Like I don't need a coach. And I always try to give the analogy of like, well, NFL players have strength coaches. They don't need the coach isn't there to be like, come on, let's go to the gym. Like that's not the relationship at all. It's like the person saying, what am I doing? Hey, I kind of have this injury. What should I do? Like, And so it is the roadmap. Do we have super out of shape people in our program that haven't done anything for a long time that come through? Yes, and they usually do well. But the vast majority of our clients are people that are pretty disciplined and they're putting in the work, but they're just doing random stuff or just they're at a plateau or just overall it's not working and they don't have a roadmap. So, like you said, it's designed to get you to win, where we need to collaborate with you, we need to communicate with you, and we need to build somewhat of a kind of relationship, friendship with you. So we have that autonomy. So we can talk about things. Hey man, how's your sleep? How's your stress? How's your rehab? All these things. 90 days in, you're basically taking an extremely 360 approach to health, fitness, recovery, mobility. I mean, whole 9 yards. So I love to hear that you're winning, man, and that you feel like this was a great decision. And I'm super excited to see where you're going to go the rest of the year. Like you're just starting, man, and you're already crushing it 90 days in. So super excited.
Yep. No, it's awesome. This program's been the best thing I've done in a long time. So I'm very appreciative of you and Mike and the stuff that, getting into the program. This program's been great.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate your feedback. Thank you so much for talking to me and taking time out of your day. And I know this is going to be really helpful, hopefully, for somebody that watches it that was kind of where you are. And that's exactly why we do these. And I just like to hear our clients win. So thank you so much for jumping on, man.
Thank you. I appreciate everything you guys are doing for me.
Yeah, of course. We'll chat soon. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.